Hello. Okay, nice. I think we're good now. Hello. All right. Let's start again. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another lazy show where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that it's more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Sunday at 10 a.m. and that is Pennsylvania in the United States time. So we're gonna start soon reading some of your comments. There are a lot of people commenting on the chat already. That's great. That's awesome that you are here with me, that you care about your time, right, when you work in AutoCAD. So first of all, I want to say welcome. Let's say welcome, guys, to our new YouTube member, Martin Withmore. Thank you, Martin, for joining the team, right? As a YouTube member, for supporting our work also. And for people who don't know, now, Martin, you can access our lazy macro shows that we do by the end of each month. And it's basically a live stream like today's, where we create custom commands, custom macro tools, so we can quickly perform any AutoCAD task, right, and save some time, of course. So yeah, and let's now start reading some of your comments before we start today's presentation. Martin is on the chat. Martin says, I'm good. Looking forward to your discussion. Hey, Martin, thank you for being here today with us and, of course, for becoming a member. So hopefully you're doing good. You're saying, yeah, I'm good. That's great. Douglas is on the chat also, says, good morning, Irving. Good morning to all. Hey, Duke. Happy to have you here as always. That's great. So we're going to learn some cool tips and tricks today about the options or dialog box or options window, right? Martin says, morning, Duke, from England. That's great. Martin is from England. That's great. I know our friend Doug is, I think, from New Jersey. Let's see. Martin says, got a question for you, Irving. Is it possible to create a macro that deletes everything, no matter what, of a layer? Say dimension layer. That's a great question, Martin, and I'm sure there is a way using, of course, macros or command macros. And yes, we can definitely take a look at that, create that command. So yeah, that's a good idea for a live stream. And thank you, Martin. Definitely in the future, I'm gonna try to do an entire live stream to create that command, right? That's a good idea. But just to answer your question, yes, it's possible. Martin says, can hear you. Okay, we already fixed that. Let's say Martin says, love that music, but prefer you. What do you mean, Martin? I mean, that's just, the music, do you guys are suggesting to change the music? I could do that. But the countdown timer and intro is just to give people more time, right, to join the live stream. Sometimes I start right away and then people are missing the beginning of the presentation. So yeah. Martin says, love your help with macros and everything else on AutoCAD. Hey Martin, I'm glad that you are finding our content useful, right? So that's like a motivation for me to keep going. You know, sometimes it's hard here to show up each week, right? Trying to be consistent is hard, but I do my best to do that, right? For people who are new to the Lazy Arquitecto YouTube channel or Facebook page, so we do live stream each Sunday at 10 a.m. and then we have a video also that we post every Wednesday, right? All related to AutoCAD, for AutoCAD professionals like you, of course. Walking on Sunshine, our friend Rachel, right? Rachel says, hello Rachel, happy to have you here as each week. That's great that you are consistent with the live streams. Hope you're doing great. Martin says, afternoon sunshine. Afternoon sunshine. That's our friend Rachel. You're probably joking, right, Martin? Douglas says, do me a favor, please. Straighten the picture on the wall behind you. It's driving me crazy. You mean the mini picture? Yeah, sure. I'll do that next time, I guess. Thank you though for letting me know. Martin, Sunshine. Rachel says layer merge. I think you're answering to Martin's question, but I think it's different, Rachel. Martin wants to erase everything, basically, maybe all at once, right? Not one by one. Douglas says, what's up, Rachel? We have a new person here on the live stream is Solanki. Hi Solanki. Welcome aboard to these live streams. If you're new, we are here each Sunday at 10 a.m. So if you are an AutoCAD professional or you work using AutoCAD, this is the show for you. So hope you're doing great today. Rachel says, deleting everything of a layer merge. Yes, you can do that, but that will do it individually, Rachel. And I think our friend Martin is looking for a solution to do everything, all of the layers at once, I believe. Layer merge, maybe, but want to delete. Let's see what people are saying before we start our presentation. Hey, one problem. Pavel, welcome aboard. I think you're new also to the live streams. That's great that more and more folks are joining us. That means we're doing something good here, because either YouTube or Facebook are recommending our live streams to more and more folks, right? So hope you're doing great. Pavel, hi, one problem in block attribute text. Rotate 90 degree. Okay, but 91 to 180 degree problem. Do you know? What's the specific problem, Pavel? So we can all help you out here, right? Because we have so many AutoCAD professionals here, as Rachel, Doug, Martin. So we are all trying to find better ways to do things in AutoCAD, right? But to answer your question, I quite don't understand your specific problem. So what's the specific problem when you rotate your attribute, right? Martin says, no, music, great. My comment in reference to no sound from yourself at the start. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I like the music too, because, you know, it reminds me to my origin country, right? Peru in South America. So it's related. So I like the music too. I'll try Sunshine. I remember to send the email about the tool. Yes, Rachel, I received your email. I still didn't have a chance to reply to you, but yes, I got your email. I will reply. Martin, delete the drawing. Sorry, joking. Solanki says, I'm the one who contacted you on Instagram for my hash issues and forgot to send you the file. Sure, you can send it out. I'll be happy to help, Solanki. Martin says, thanks, I'm not expert, Irving, but I'm bluffing it with your help. Yeah, we're all learning. We are, we have to keep learning. We cannot just stop, right? Solanki says, you try to help me too. Yeah. Solanki, I'm intrigued. All right, guys, I think it's time to start the presentation, so we can have a little bit of time after the presentation to ask questions or, talk anything related to AutoCAD, right? So let me get ready over here, and we're gonna start. So. All right. As always, if you have a question or comment related to whatever I'm explaining, you can stop me at any time, right? Because that's what I like to do, this live stream, so we can have that interaction, right? Otherwise, I'll just record a video, right? So let's do this. Okay. Let me get ready over here. Okay. All right, guys, let's do this. Okay. Let me close this drawing that I don't need. So we're gonna explain today 5 tips and tricks related to the options dialog box in AutoCAD, right? And I remember this idea came from one of you guys. I don't know if it was Martin or Rachel that says, hey, why don't you do a video about options window or options dialog box? And you spoke and I listened. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, so sometimes happen that when we are working in AutoCAD, the program might crash on you and you might lose most of your settings or system variables. Do you know that you could use the options dialog box and under the profile tab create a new profile by clicking add to the list, and of course rename your profile, let's say Lazy 20 or Lazy Arquitecto. Apply and close and set that current, and of course hit OK to avoid this problem of losing your drafting settings or settings in AutoCAD. And not only that, but this will also help you whenever you have a weird problem in AutoCAD, such as AutoCAD not behaving the way it should be. You might use the options dialog box or options window to reset some of these settings by using the default profile that AutoCAD started with. And if you set that current, of course, and hit apply and OK, some of the settings might be restored, and this way your AutoCAD will start working as expected. So do you know this first tip and trick using the options dialog box? Let me know on the chat, guys, before we go to the next tip or trick. So let's see what people think about this first tip of creating a new profile for two reasons. The first one, to reset some of your settings, and the second one, to of course fix any problem that you might be facing. So let's see. Martin says cool. Yeah, so do you guys have any questions so far before we move on? Douglas says, yes, I use profiles for different disciplines. Yes, Doug. I'm in the architecture field, but as you're saying, you use it for different disciplines. I'm sure you also are into architecture, right, Doug? Our friend Solanki is putting a heart. Rachel says, when a drawing crashes, I haven't lost a system setting. I thought when you set a system setting, that was it set no matter the crash. No, Douglas. No, Rachel. It's not that you're gonna lose all of your settings, but just to give you an example of what happened to me, probably 3 times already. Whenever you try to maybe use a tool or something from the internet, you try to put it here in AutoCAD, and then maybe let's give you an example, maybe a Lisp, an auto Lisp command, right? You don't know how these people created these tools, but when you bring it into your program, the code might have something to change some of your settings, right? When you use it, AutoCAD might crash, and then some of you, not all of them, but some of those settings will also be modified. And again, by creating a profile, it's a good way to restore those settings, right? So you don't have to manually trying to find which of your settings have changed. Hopefully I answered your question, Rachel. Douglas says yes. Oh, I think you're responding about the question about if you are in the architecture field, I believe, right? Guys, did this happen when you try to select some hatch, it won't select and ask for SEP? What's SEP? It asks for SEP. Michael says mostly residential architecture, but also machining, cabinet detailing, etc. Oh, so great. So those are your different disciplines, Duke. Right, I understand. A backup as such. Correct. That's the idea, Rachel. And of course, you could export your profile, right? Once you change some of your settings, you could export always your profile, save it somewhere, so you always have it, or you can use it on a different computer also, right? You don't have to start changing your settings for each computer, right? Maybe you work, you have a computer at home and then another one at the office, so you can quickly export and import your new profile. All right, so I think we're good now. Hopefully I answered some of your questions from this first tip. So what I'm gonna do now is, of course, I'm gonna go back to my profile that I use, and I'm gonna jump to the next tip, right? So we're good so far. Let's see. All right, so let's move on. All right, so I don't know you guys, but sometimes when working on my drawing, I want to quickly find the size of certain items, and what I usually do is, draw a dimension and see, okay, this room have a size of 5'6", but I have to do this for many different objects are you are seeing it. Did you know that you could use the options dialog box and go to the display tab, and there is an option over here that says show rollover tooltips. Once we check that and hit OK, what's gonna happen is we don't need anymore to use the dimension to find sizes of objects. You could simply now hover over an item and boom, the length of your lines or polylines will shown as you are seeing it right now. Isn't that great, guys? And so not only that, but you could also hover on close polylines and you will immediately see the area as you are seeing it in your screen. So what do you think about this second tip and trick about the options dialog box? Did you know this, guys? Let me know on the chat. And if you have a question, also just let me know. When I jump to the chat, I understand. Let's see. Douglas says quick dims. Yes, Doug. I mean, you could use quick dims, dim linear, anything, right? That's a personal preference. But let's see. Show theme. Walking on sunshine. I mean, Rachel. I always get confused. Walking on sunshine is our friend Rachel. Rachel says, great tip, Irving. I keep forgetting to use it. I use it all the time, my friend. In the beginning, when I, of course, was starting working in the program, like I was explaining, I used to utilize the dimension command to see what the size of my items were. But do you imagine when we have a big, let's say, existing conditions plan, we have so many lines, you don't want to do that. So this is a quicker way, a smarter way, I believe, this quick tip and trick to calculate your length as well as your areas, right? So, yep, Martin says, I like it, Irving. Yeah, happy you found this useful, Martin. I use this all the time, again, when doing existing condition plans, because most of the time you have a sketch with a lot of dimensions, and what I like to do is go over each dimension, over each size, and that will check that everything is accordingly, right? And then I highlight each number, and then I keep moving around like so that way I can make sure that my job is right. Martin says, never knew that at all. Let's see. Irving, please think of another 5-6 tips for control panel in 4 or 5 weeks time. I love this info. Hey Martin, happy you are finding our content useful, right? You are gonna see that if you just join our live streams each Sunday, we'll learn from each other, right? We have plenty of people here that have a lot of experience, like our friend Douglas, Rachel. They've been working with AutoCAD for many years, so we can all help each other out, right? That's the idea. That's our mission here, right? That's why we show up here. It's not just to do a random tutorial. We have a mission here. The mission is to stop wasting time, right? So let's see. Douglas says, I think mine has been set from day one. Forgot where the setting is. Oh, okay. So I'm glad that you knew it, but this video kind of helped you refresh where it was, right? And then one more thing I want to add to this second tip, guys, is you might not know this, and is that we can change some of the properties that we want to see on this rollover tooltip, right? For instance, you're seeing over here length, line type, layer, and color. We can change those. If we go to the CUI to open the customize user interface, oops, this is huge. Let me rearrange it like so. So if we go under the rollover tooltips right here, we will have the options for all of the items that we need. Let's say, for instance, the line command. I only want to show the length to simplify my life, right? I only want the information that I need. So then I can uncheck the rest. And once I hit apply and OK, what's gonna happen is that when we hover on an item like this line, I will only see the length, right? So let's move on with the I believe is the third tip and trick for the options window. Let's see. Martin says, looks like we might hit a hatching session next week. I have a good question to add to Solanki's question. Yeah, we might see. Let's see what we pick for next week, guys. I'm not sure on the topic yet, but I have plenty of topics. I have probably hundreds of topics that I have here on the content list that I usually write. Plenty of topics, guys, so don't worry about that. But anyway, says walking on sunshine. Oh, Rachel, Irving's hatch video, since using it, 0 problems hatching. Oh, okay, you are referring, Rachel, to the video about hatching that let's see. Yeah, I mean, I already have a hatching video, Martin. Yes, Rachel, thank you for remind me that. Let's see if I can quickly find it for our friend, right? Let's see. Yeah, we already have that video. No, it's not this one. Which one is it? Let's see if I can find it. Hatch. Oh, here we go. Martin, this is the video for you, my friend. We already did 5 AutoCAD hatch problems with solutions. So that's the video that you want to watch. Almost 10,000 views. So that means people found it useful, right? So thank you, Rachel, for reminding me about this video that we did already. And you saying you have 0 problems hatching. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with everyone here, right? Rachel. Let's say, sorry for the previous half message, and I love the tips I was asking. When I select hatch, won't select in the first click. It asks to specify the second point. If anyone can help me out, would be great. So Lanky, I might reach back to you. I don't remember if you sent me an email or not, but please send me an email about your problem, and definitely I might be able to help you with that. Yes, that one about that boundary hatch thing. Yeah, there are many tips and tricks for hatch. Over here we have many others. Over here we even have a custom macro command for hatching. So we did right there, Martin, 1, 2, 3 videos that you need to watch after this live stream in order to learn all about hatching. All right. So Solanke says, no, I saw almost all of your videos. This is something different, so I will check it once again. Yeah, Solanke, I mean, we have how many videos? I think 548 videos. Wow, that's so many. So yeah, Martin says, thanks, I'll watch that video after this. Martin says, Rachel, big kiss. Oh my god. All right, let's keep moving, guys. So let's see over here. Okay, let's go with the next one, guys. So we did, I think we're on the third one. Yes, we're on the third one. All right, let's see. All right, the third one would be, let's go to, so sometimes happen that when we are in a hurry, we want to see a preview of our work, right? How will this plan will look when printing, right? And we could, of course, physically print it, waste some paper, and do all kind of things. But do you know that you could use the options dialog box, or to make it simple, the options window, and to go under display and colors, and over here change the uniform background color to white. That will emulate a printing preview of your layout. And once you do that, and also change the layout page setup by right clicking on it and going to the page setup, and modified it by checking the displayed plot styles. Do you know that you could immediately set your layout as a print preview? This is so helpful, guys, because this means that we could preview any work that we have on model space, and in paper space it will look the way it will print, right? So what do you think about this third tip? I use it all the time, so I don't have to do any preview, any print preview, or physically printing sheets, so I know exactly how my drawing will look. So let me jump to the chat to see what do you think. If you have any questions about this third window tip and trick, right? So let's say Rachel says, see Irving's hands once. What do you mean, Rachel? Anyway, what do you think, guys, about this third tip and trick? Douglas says, yes, I use it. Yeah, Doug, I'm happy that you are now wasting your time printing your drawing, or do a print preview in order to get a look and feel of your drawing, right? How it will print. So I'm glad, Doug. I'm glad for you, my friend. So let's see what other folks think. Martin says, I'll have to give it a try. Yes, Martin. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions setting this up. Just shoot me an email or anything. And our friend, we have a super chat. Xiomara Araujo says, Hans doing first bump. Hey Xiomara, happy to have you here. Thank you for your super chat. I'm very happy for that. That means you guys are finding value on what I'm presenting today, right? Hopefully that's the case. And Xiomara, thank you for supporting my work, right? Thank you very much, Xiomara. Oh boy. All right, let's see. Xiomara says, my pleasure. Let's see. Before we move on, we have some comments. I wrote a macro about that. For the tool palette, one click gives a plot preview. Didn't want to change the background. Oh, nice, Rachel. Sure, you can maybe join the lazy macro private streams, right? And we can talk about that if you want, Rachel. Rachel, let's get the code. Xiomara, my pleasure. I will post it. It's on my office laptop. All right, guys, let's keep moving. Thank you again, Xiomara, for that super chat. That's a motivation for me to keep showing up, right? Because I know that you guys are finding value on what we're doing here. All right, let's keep moving. With the next tip and trick would be, okay, let's go. All right, let's go over here. And all right, so sometimes happen that when working on a drawing, we want to copy a block like this and place it exactly on a location, in this case of a ACT or acoustic ceiling tile, but we cannot do it accurately and precisely, even though our object snaps are all on. We cannot do that. So the reason, of course, why we cannot do this is because this is a hatch, right? Do you know that we could use the, let me undo. Did you know that we could use the options dialog box to go under the drafting tab and uncheck the ignore hatch objects? So once we do that and try to copy an object again, like for instance this lighting right over here, we could go ahead and start snapping to our hatch like so. Do you know that? Let me know on the chat whether you knew this or not, or you use it all the time. I definitely use this every day to snap on my hatches. So let me jump on the chat before we jump to the next tip and trick for options. Let's see. Do you have any questions so far? Can we keep moving? Let me know. So working on site, Rachel says apparent snap. What do you mean apparent snap? Yeah, God's been doing CAD for decades and I didn't know that. Hey, Rachel, I'm glad that you're learning something useful today. Makes me very happy, right? Because if you are a person that has been using AutoCAD for so many years, and there are always new things to learn, right? So Rachel, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Martin looks like he's scared right now. I don't know why you're scared. Anyway, so let's see over here. So Lanky says, I didn't know that. This is really helpful. Hey, Solanki, here you go. First time you are on the live stream, and I'm glad you are learning useful tips and tricks today, right? By the way, if you guys can share right now, what do you use AutoCAD for? That would be awesome. I use AutoCAD for architecture. What about you? Put it in the chat. It says just architecture, engineering, maybe furniture, maybe mechanical. What is it? Just want to know. It would be nice to know what type of work you do with AutoCAD. Anyway, I already said architecture. Yes, Douglas says, yeah, I use apparent snap. I have sent you. Okay, Duke, I have sent you the file. All right, I'll check that out later, Solanki. Martin says, I'm shocked. Never knew that. Hey, happy you found something useful today, Martin. Martin says production. Oh, that's what you use AutoCAD for, right? Production. I already said I use it for architecture. What about you, Rachel? Douglas. Oh, we already know about Douglas. Douglas, I believe, use AutoCAD for architecture also. Solanki, what about you? What about you, Rachel? All right. We have 9 people connected live. That's great. So let's move on with the next tip and trick for options. So maybe we can have a little bit of time to talk later on. Rachel says, I do civil engineering, the real discipline, not the dreamer architects. Rachel. Doug, what do you think? You are an architect here also. I believe you, or at least you work with architecture stuff. Not the dreamer architects. Oh my god. Rachel says, calm down, Rachel. Oh my god. No, I know you're joking, Rachel. Anyway, let's keep moving, guys. All right, so let's keep moving with the next tip before things get here out of control. Doug says, my life is a dream. All right, guys, let's see. Let me get ready for the next tip and trick. Let's see. Okay. Right, let's go to paper space. All right, sometimes when working in your drawing, you might need a scale. So we get inside our viewport by double clicking on it. Sometimes we might need a scale, a drawing scale or viewport scale that is not available to us. So we might go ahead and create our scale, right, by adding it and calculate all of those numbers and so on. But do you know that you could use the options dialog box to go under the user preferences tab and go under the default scale list option to hit the reset option and hit OK, of course. And this way, whenever you don't have a drawing scale, oops, wait, over here, so if you reset, so let me do it again. So do you know that you could go ahead and use the options dialog box to, in conjunction with the options or custom options under here on the drawing scales, to reset your drawing scales, for instance Imperial, that's my units, to go ahead and insert or reset all of your drawing scales like so. Do you know that, guys? So you don't have to create any drawing scales anymore manually. Of course, you could use this tip and trick, which again, let me explain it because I think it was a little confusing. You could use the options dialog box under the default scale list to go ahead and add here or edit or remove all of these scales or drawing scales that you need. So once you have that correctly, you could go ahead and using the custom options, simply reset it so you always have your drawing scales available. So what do you think about this tip and trick? Do you think it's gonna be helpful to you? Do you know this, or are you manually creating your drawing scales like I was doing it before, right? Many years ago, when I didn't know any better, I had to create manually my drawing scales. But once I discovered this tip and trick, now I have all of my drawing scales ready under my options window, and that way I can reset it at any time on any drawing that I need them. So let me jump to the chat now to see what do you think about these tips and tricks. Let's say Xiomara is laughing, I think, about Douglas' comments about my life is a dream. So Martin says, did not know this, I'll try it tomorrow. So let's say Martin, Rachel says, all the drawing scales I have are parts of CAD standards on the template drawing my team use. It's a good trick if you don't. Yes, Rachel, of course, there are many different ways to have your drawing scales always available, and your idea of using a template, that's one way. And of course, there are many offices that don't use templates. So this is a good tip and trick in order to have your drawing scales available. Douglas says, yes, I knew it, but I set up a notative app in different templates. Okay, so you're using the same approach as Rachel, right? Utilizing templates. We might have to do a template video, because I guess that's a topic that people also like, maybe, right? Templates. Let's see. Rachel says, got a macro for a drawing scale as well. Another one, click. Oh, awesome, Rachel. I think you are utilizing many different macro commands now to speed up your AutoCAD workflows, right? That's great. For people who don't know, we do have a specific show about AutoCAD macros. I call it the Lazy Macro Show, and that's where we create all of these custom macro commands, right, for you to speed up some of these workflows. So thanks for sharing, Rachel. Martin says, yes, Douglas. Just Douglas, another subject I need to learn more about that. Let's see. Douglas says, yes, Martin, I use it all the time. Rachel, yes, why do it when you don't have to? Yes, of course, why? Right? But it's not that people just do it because they have to. It's sometimes we don't know any better, right? We just maybe we're starting, or there are so many tools and settings in AutoCAD, guys, that we're not utilizing. So that's why we do what we do here, right? Solanki says, I have my templates in metric and my drawings are in Imperial. When I scale my Imperial drawings in metric template, it doesn't work properly. So when you scale your entire drawing, or when you scale blocks, or what's the specific problem, Solanki? So it might be tough to work like that, right? To use both metric and imperial at the same time and trying to make it work. The only time that I've been in that situation is when we receive drawings from consultants, right? From civil engineer, for example. When I receive drawings from Rachel, a civil engineer, they have their settings, their units in metric or on other, and I have to sometimes, so let's say for architecture, I set up my units in inches, right? But from the engineer drawing, he might have his units in feet, maybe. So then that's the only time where I had to deal with this. But maybe you can expand on your question, Solanki, to better help you. Martin says, Martin, get your head around annotation. Well, it depends, Martin. I have a question for you, Martin. Do you work in an office, right, with many different co-workers, right? Is that your setup, or you do like freelance work only for yourself? Because that will influence your response about annotation, annotative, right? You have to think on that. Let's see. When I scale in paper space viewport, so you're saying drawings, metric, and imperial. So Solanki, that sounds like an idea for an entire live stream. So if you can send me an email with your drawings, right, that it's in metric and in imperial, and give me an explanation, maybe we can do an entire live stream about it, right? And maybe see how we can help you with that, because that sounds like an interesting topic to me. Douglas says, dim scale, etc. is fine for some. When you do work for many companies that do use it, you need to know it if you want to do work for them. I think you're referring to annotation, correct, Duke? So yeah, many companies that use it, you need to know. Yeah, of course, you need to know both ways, right? How to use annotative objects to change the scales of your dimensions, or the other way, how to use dim scale. So yeah, depending on where you are working, right, in what office, they might have a policy to not use annotative. So yeah, Duke, that's a good comment. I'm in architecture college, and I call it, and college teachers metric, and I'm doing projects which has to be in imperial. So it's weird, but yeah, what can be done? Oh, so you are a student, Solanki. Wow, that's great. That's great. That it's interesting, right? Because if you're a student, most likely you're learning basic stuff at school or college. But I'm glad that you are here trying to learn and get deeper into learning AutoCAD, right? So it's gonna be helpful to you, because once you transition to the professional environment, right, it's totally different using AutoCAD for a school or university and using it for a work, right, for an office. It's totally different. You'll be shocked the difference. I thought when I got my first job using AutoCAD that I knew AutoCAD, right? They asked me, hey, from 1 to 10, how much do you know AutoCAD? And I said with confidence, well, 5 or 6. Oh my God, the first week, the first month, I was so stressed out. that I didn't know anything about AutoCAD. But that's my short story. Let's see. Rachel says, if you're the client, Irving, tell the consultants how you want the drawing settings sent to you. Yes, of course, Rachel. If that's the case, if I'm the client, but I work for an office, right? For an architecture office where are many folks there. So, but definitely once I, get more into the architecture company itself, right? I don't know if you knew, guys, but I'm taking the architecture exams to be a licensed architect, right? So hopefully I can finish that up, and then I'll be able to have my own clients, as Rachel is suggesting. Martin says, yes, in an office with 2 other CAD technicians. Yep, so that's the thing, Martin. So you have to think on your 2 co-workers also, because you might learn annotative annotations, but then if your other colleagues don't know about them and they have to use your drawing, oh my god, you're gonna give them so many headaches. So be careful, and just maybe ask around, see what they think. Douglas says, I go to other offices and I have to adapt to the way they work. That's correct, Duke. Douglas says, profiles, Solanke or Imperial templates versus metric. Rachel says, I've started learning 3ds Max. What do you architects use that? So 3ds Max, I used it before to do 3D renderings, right? They have very realistic 3D renderings options. So yeah, that's most likely, probably other people use it differently, but that's how I used it, Rachel. Alright guys, with 11 people, let me know your final thoughts about today's presentation. Maybe any last comment that you want to mention before we wrap up today's live stream. That was awesome. We have learned many different tips and tricks about the options dialog box. We did this together, right? It was nice because it was very interactive. You asked me your questions, I try to help you, and so I had to start thinking on our next week's topic. Let's see, let me read some of your last comments before we wrap up today's live stream. Let's see, that was really good. Let's say that was really good. That hatch snap tip. Whoa. Hey, happy Rachel. Happy that you are finding value from our content, right? Let's see, to class. Mikael says, Rachel, I was big inventor. Martin, thanks Irving, great to learn more about control panel. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna go and get my breakfast, because as always I end up these live streams very hungry. Alright, so I'm gonna say goodbye to you by showing on my screen these folks that support my work. Thank you very much for your big support, right? So they support me either on Patreon or as a YouTube member. Thank you very much. All right guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'm gonna see you here next week, next Sunday at 10 a.m. all right?